All right, what's up y'all? So today we are gonna be doing 5 meals that you can make in under 5 minutes. So basically we're gonna take care of the excuse of I don't have the time and give you 5 different options that can be cooked and prepared within 5 minutes each. So we're gonna be doing a Chipotle bowl, a shrimp Mediterranean bowl, chicken sausage tacos, a chicken and marinara, and then we're gonna have our basic bodybuilder, which is just protein, veggies, and sweet potato or carbs. Okay, so we're headed into Target to get a few items for our 5 meals in 5 minutes meal prep series that we're doing. So come check it out. So I usually do get most of my vegetables frozen just because they stay fresh longer. And then especially if you're like lazy with your meal prep like I am, it just helps. But there are a couple things that I do have to get fresh, which is gonna be the cilantro if I get that, cucumbers, and then some tomatoes as well. If you're trying to avoid dairy, then you might need to look for a different option, but I like some of these Greek yogurt dressings because they're super yummy. Like this one, the cilantro avocado dressing, it's really good. Quick thing with marinara sauce, a lot of them either have high carb contents or high fat contents, so I like to find one that either has like a middle, both, so somewhere around like 5 grams of fats and carbs, or something that has lower than both of those numbers. Yeah, so this one has 6 grams of fat and 7 grams of carbs, which isn't that bad. Like I might get that one. But then if you look at another one, different brand, this one, 3 grams of fat, 10 grams of carbs. So again, it's usually high in one and low in the other. It's kind of hard to find one that's like under 5 for both. I'm not actually gonna buy this because I'm moving soon and I don't need a whole jar of salsa, but you can just pick any salsa really. Normally, I would recommend doing like cooking your own pasta, cooking in bulk. And this is actually my favorite type of pasta, is the bonza, because it's made with chickpeas and it has protein and fiber in it. But if you're super lazy and you need it to be super quick, you need something like this. It's ready. All you do is microwave it, and then you can add in your ingredients that I'll show you later. This is usually what I do for rice, just because it's the easiest to grab and go and cook. So you literally just split the bag, throw it in the microwave for 90 seconds, and you're good to go. Okay, so as far as like sweet potato, we're gonna make a just meat, veggie, sweet potato meal. You could get the fries, you could get some type of like tater tot or something like that. They have also sweet potato noodles, which we could use for that other meal. And then I've already cooked mine in advance, but if you didn't have time to, you could always buy something like this, sweet potato slices. A lot of stores also have just plain sweet potatoes that you can microwave in the bag.
Anna, what's that?
No, I was falling off the shelf. I like to use Pam coconut oil. You can also use olive oil, but I like to use these little non-stick sprays when I'm cooking, just because they have no calories, so 0 carbs, 0 fat, and they're just a good coat for the pan. I'm spraying my pan, and then the first thing I have for the first meal is this frozen chicken. So normally in advance, I would try to thaw out some of this chicken. I actually cook all of my meat in bulk 1 day a week, so I would recommend you doing that, and most of the meals in this video are going to be with cooked meat. So again, cook out 3 or 4 days of steak, chicken, whatever meats you're going to be using for the week, or get things that are going to last. Like if you get pre-cooked food or whatever, you can get frozen, whatever, just make sure that you defrost it before, and then that's what's going to make these meals so easy and quick to make. Alright, so I showed you the chicken that we're using. These are the other meats that we're going to be using today. I got this chicken apple sausage from Costco. This steak I got from Dallas Prep Kitchen. They cook steak in bulk, but you can also just make your own if you want. And again, it's the same concept. Just cook everything in bulk and then keep it in your fridge, and when you need it, it's already cooked and ready. These are chicken meatballs from Costco as well. And then this is some shrimp from Dallas Prep Kitchen. Again, I pay them because it's easy and it's quick, but you can still have a day where you just cook all of your meats, and then it's going to be the same concept. So now I'm going to show you all of the different meals. So the first one is going to be our Chipotle at-home bowl. Alright, so we're going to take this chicken, have some extra meal prep containers over here. And normally, like I said, I would make sure that this is defrosted, but since it's not, we're just going to throw it in here, cook it for a minute, and now it's ready. Alright, so what we're going to start with is we're just gonna have a bag of rice. So this is pouch rice. So you just put it in the microwave and you cook it for 90 seconds. Now I already opened this one up, so we're just gonna pretend that it's 90 seconds. And you can go ahead and we'll just leave it in there. So as our timer's going, our rice is cooking. We're gonna need to cook our chicken as well. So I'll go ahead and put in the portion that I wanna use. You can either use the hand method, so a serving is usually about the shape of the size of your palm for protein, but I'm also going to use a scale just in case you do want to measure it out. We're going to do 4 ounces. Alright, that's about 4.3 ounces of chicken. So that has about 1 minute left, so we're going to go ahead and just cut up the chicken. You can do it in little cubes like Chipotle does, or if you're lazy, you can leave them a little bit bigger for the bites. But we're just cutting this up into little bite-sized pieces. And then as soon as our rice is done, so this will be at the 1.5 minute mark, you're gonna go ahead. You can also just cook it for a minute because you're still gonna heat it up with the chicken. So we're gonna put this into our meal prep container. All right, so there's our rice. We're gonna add our chicken. You know, I normally do this like a little bit better, but it's a little weird trying to make sure that y'all can see it all. Okay, so now we need to heat it up again, another like 30 to 60 seconds. Usually about 30 seconds if it's already hot, just to get everything cooked together. And then if it's frozen like mine, you might need to cook it for like a minute. And so now we have our rice, we have our chicken, and now we just have to add the fixins. So Chipotle usually has those fajita veggies that are bell peppers, onions. I decided to just do pico and salsa with mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and top it with some of this. And then I use the little single serving packets of guacamole just because they're really easy, convenient, and you know exactly how much is in there. And also they don't go bad. So. You can either add this in right away if you're ready to eat it, but I'm not ready to eat this right now, so I'm just gonna put it on top of the container. And then if I do need to take this on the go with me, then all I have to do is just grab the container, the guac, and be on my way. Alright, so our next is going to be a shrimp marinara pasta meal. I don't really know what the name of it is, but we're just going to call it shrimp and marinara. We found these noodles that are already cooked, so I mean, I would honestly recommend just making your own. I like the bonza noodles. I showed those in the grocery store video, but because they have higher fiber and some protein. But these are good too, and they're wheat. They don't have any preservatives added. All you do, I've never had these before, is get bag, stick it in for 60 seconds. I'm actually going to do about 45 seconds because I like to cook the food together. So when it's pouches like this, they need to steam in the bag. I have my shrimp that I'm going to be eating that's already cooked, but it's still cold because it's been in the fridge. So I'll probably add the noodles, the shrimp, put the marinara, and then throw that in for an extra 45 seconds. Okay, so we're going to add our 4 ounces of shrimp. My scale is on the fritz, and I really don't think that, I think that's 4 ounces. We're just gonna call that 4 ounces. But we got the shrimp in here. We're gonna add the noodles. These are the Burria ready pasta. We're gonna do half a bag, the serving size. For half a bag, it's 40 grams of carbs. You could weigh it out. I don't really do that because either way, I'm gonna have half the bag now and half the bag later. So if I have a little more than half today and a little less than half tomorrow, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. And then I'm just gonna kind of stir it up a little bit because those noodles are stuck together. Don't pay attention to that. This is the marinara sauce that I got. And we're gonna add some of that. Now, normally I would suggest weighing this, especially if you're trying to track your calories. But I'm just at a point where I don't really care that much, and it doesn't really make that big of a difference in my physique whether or not I weigh stuff because I've been measuring for so long. And since this does have marinara, we're gonna put the lid on it before we heat it up, and then heat it up maybe another 45 seconds. All right, and now we have our shrimp marinara meal. So you just stir it up, good to go, super easy, super delicious. If you want to, where'd I choose stuff? If you want to, you can add a little bit of mozzarella, stir that in, it'll melt, and that's our second meal. So I don't get bored very easily, but if you do, then you would sauce. I have these teriyaki pineapple chicken meatballs, and same thing, you would heat those up together too. All right, our next meal on the menu is gonna be our chicken tacos. So I have 2 tortillas. I recommend getting the Mission extra thin corn tortillas. 3 of them have 21 grams of carbs and they don't have gluten. But if you forget to get them at the grocery store, you can always go to the local Earl's kitchen and pick up some to go. So we're gonna just have our taco meat in here. This technically hasn't been cooked. It's like it was cooked, but then it was in here, so we need to heat it up. I just cooked mine, so we're just pretending it's still cold. And put in however much you need. So weigh out, know how much you put in this big bulk container. So if you put 4 links, then you want to have 1/4 of whatever this container weighs, depending on the portion size that you're trying to do. But we're gonna put in our little sausage links. Heat this up 30 seconds. Heat it up. We're gonna add some coleslaw. What else did I get for these? You could add salsa, you could add guacamole, you could add lemon. I got some ranch from mine. So this is the classic ranch. They also have a really good cilantro avocados Greek yogurt sauce that you can add. But I'm gonna add my ranch. You can always add a little bit of cheese if you want to. And then you can add a little bit of cilantro. Alright, so for our next meal, we're going to make a shrimp Mediterranean bowl. So I'm just going to use this quinoa, brown rice, garlic blend that I have, this microwavable rice. But you can use any type of rice. Again, this is just 90 seconds in the microwave. Make sure to break it up first. I usually just do 60 seconds because I'm also going to put the rice and the meat together and then cook those together. So 1 minute, we'll start our timer. I'm going to wait just a second because I don't actually, this is still going to be under 5 minutes. But normally, if you were really in a rush, you could go ahead and weigh out your shrimp. I don't really weigh my meat too often, like I said, so I just kind of eyeball it. So as soon as this is done, put half in there, add this, and then we'll add the toppings. All right, so our rice is done. We put it in the container. We're gonna measure out 4 ounces of shrimp. I'm just doing half of what I have right now. And now all of our fixins. We're gonna go ahead and heat this up again for 30-45 seconds just to cook the shrimp. And then what we're gonna be putting on top of it, I have some lemon. There's garlic in that rice, but I would normally consider adding some garlic too. You can add some pico de gallo. You can actually chop up some tomatoes, cucumbers, cheese, cilantro. While that's cooking, I am gonna slice up some of these cherry tomatoes. You don't have to do that, they're cherry tomatoes. You don't really need to cut them, but I'm still gonna do it. I don't really ever track the calories for vegetables. I don't know if tomatoes are actually a vegetable or a fruit, but I grew up watching VeggieTales, so I'm gonna say they're a veggie. I'm sure there are better ways to cut and make this stuff look prettier, but to be honest, my goal is just to make sure that I'm eating enough. And what I found is if I focus on making it pretty or being very extravagant with my food, I just end up not sticking with it. So what I'm trying to do is just give y'all some ideas of things that you'll actually be able to stick with on a more regular basis. Some people shave their cucumbers, take the skin off. I don't really care about that. I think it tastes fine. I don't notice. So we have our little Mediterranean bowl. I'm just gonna move the shrimp over there so you can see. And we have our cucumbers, our tomatoes, and normally I would also probably mix all this together, but just for sake of showing you, I'm trying not to. So you can see. Yeah. And then I'm not gonna add this right now. I would add this later, but I have some hummus that I would add on top, and then I would also add in some lemon juice. You can use a fresh lemon, or you can just get this stuff. It stays good for a really long time and it's super convenient. And for the other half of that bag of rice that I just used, I just threw it in with the remainder of the shrimp that I had cooked, and then I would just make this kind of like a Chipotle bowl, maybe throw salsa or guacamole in here, maybe some veggies. I have some Brussels sprouts that I could throw in, and that's another meal. And our last meal, this is the Bodybuilder bro meal. So I sometimes do sweet potato fries instead. So again, you could just bake those, prep them in bulk. But again, trust me, I've been doing this for a while. Okay. And 4 ounces of veggies. If you don't have pre-cooked veggies, you can just use frozen veggies. So you would heat those up again, or you could just put frozen veggies in a container like this, and then they're gonna be defrosted. So all you have to do is heat them up when you're ready to eat. The other benefit of frozen veggies is that they steam your food with it. So if you put frozen veggies in a Tupperware container, and then the rest of your food is normal temperature, when you cook it, it'll steam the other food. All right, and then make some room for my steak. My meals never look that pretty, but they're efficient. Hey, I would rather my physique look pretty than my meals look pretty, because no one really sees my meals, but people see my physique. So we got about 4 ounces steak, Brussels sprouts, any vegetable really, frozen or fresh, and then sweet potatoes or sweet potato fries. Just clean up your place. And we're gonna heat it up for about 90 seconds, and then that meal is done. Sometimes I use some sort of sauce with it, so I'll either have some ranch or I'll use some reduced sugar ketchup. No sugar added ketchup, and the nutrition facts for that only has 1 gram of carbs, no fat. So, all right, and when that's done, we have a meal ready to go, ready to eat, and then all we have to do is add our sauces, whether you want the ketchup, ranch, whatever. That was our last one. So there are a lot of ways that you can, little like hacks, grocery hacks or meal prep hacks that you can use. The first thing is, the biggest things that I want you to take away from this, one, make sure you have one day where you prep. If you can prep out things in bulk like I did, like either pay someone to do it or get all of your veggies, your meats, and your carbs together on one day, whether that's grocery shopping or paying someone to do it, then you're able to do these things and have quick meals that are easy to go. I don't even have my meals normally prepped out. I just have ingredients that make it convenient to be able to do these little 5-minute meals. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if there's something else that you want to see in one of these videos, and have a great day. Bye y'all.